Okay. Wait until that thing is like correct.
There it is.
Oh! No! No, stop. Yes.
No.
There we go. Woo! We got 17 minutes of us screaming.
Okay, quiet. Millions of mothers have a medical problem or just simply cannot have a child. Many people adopt children from all around the world. There are many different types of adoption, as you see. Oh no, as you see, that's all the adoptions. To learn the basics of adoptions, you can read books and magazines about adoptions at bookstores, libraries, and on the internet sites. If you are brave enough, you can go to an adoption support group or an adoption conference. There are many different types of adoption. The various types of adoption that is available to you. One of the forms of adoption is referred as to domestic private. Another form of adoption is inter-county adoption. There are also the options of kinship relative adoption. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be elaborating on the various types. Domestic adoption. According to adoption.com, here are a couple of fast facts about domestic private adoption. The estimated cost is $15,000 to $25,000. Cost can total considerably more in certain circumstances. The profile of children are privately adopted babies in the U.S. that are usually newborns, like him right there, or her. No, go back. The parent ages. There are no legal restrictions in most states, but many or most birth families selected the family for their child. So parents who are younger than 25 or older than 45 may wait longer to be selected. The family status. The regulation, but birth parents may be looking for a couple rather than a single parent, and a family with few or no children. Travel. The adoptive family must satisfy the laws of the state where the baby is born before they can bring the child to a different state. Depending on the state, this may take just a day or two or several weeks. A baby cannot be legally relinquished before birth. Most experts advise prospective adoption to be careful about making an emotional commitment to a potential birth mother too early in her pregnancy. Despite this, to the contrary, domestic newborn adoptions remain alive and well in the United States. In a 2007 adopted family survey, the majority of respondents were matched with a birth mother in less than 12 months, and 15% got the call to travel after the baby had already been born without a pre-match. In most the U.S. newborn adoptions, adoptive parents are selected by the birth parents of the child. In at least half of the cases, the birth parents and adoptive parents have met. Domestic adopters usually appreciate the opportunity to build a relationship with their child's birth family. As one A.F. reader wrote, "It's as if we were all on different paths, moving around each other, and one day our paths crossed to create this family." Now I'm going to inform you about the other type of adoption. Another type of adoption I'm going to talk about is inter-country. Change it. The next type of adoption is inter-county adoption. This form of adoption includes children who are citizens of one country, but their parents are citizens of another country. Since the governments of both countries will be involved with this form, it is wise to first look at the State Department website to make sure that the country is currently permitting inter-country adoptions to the United States to take place. Often these children have been living in an orphanage. It is important that if you do adopt a child from a culture that is not your own, you are sensitive to the culture and you take time to research the culture, language, food, among other things, to ensure that your child will know where they came from to increase their sense of family. According to www.adoption.com, the number of Americans adopting children from other countries grew dramatically from 1990, when 7,000 children received visits to come to the United States for adoption, through 2004, when 22,884 children received such visits. After peaking in 2004, these numbers begin to decline, and the statistics for the year 2008 show that 17,433 children were adopted through inter-county adoption. Depending on your state, your adoption services provider, and the country from which you adopt, the steps in this adoption process may vary. For example, some families will first select an adoption service provider. The choice of country will then be limited to the countries with which that agency works. The next and last type of adoption I'm going to talk to you about is kinship. Kinship relative adoption is another form of adoption that often takes place. This type of adoption refers to a family adopting a child through family ties or through a relationship that particular family has had with the child's family. This includes children who are adopted by their stepmothers or stepfathers, grandparents, friends, teachers, etc. If their biological parents are unable to care for them, licensed adoption professionals are still needed with this type of adoption to ensure that all legal requirements are being met to make the adoption final. Change it. Then change it again. In this picture, those two, the one in the dress and the one next to her, are friends of the woman in the yellow, and they're giving them their child, the little baby, because they're family friends. That was the last type of adoption I was going to elaborate today. These are only 3 types of the many types of adoption. To learn more about different adoptions, just go to the website.